Doop, 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 doop. Oh, fuck it. I'll put it in here too. I think this will be a fun one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, where is... There it is.
Sure. We'll wander off in the wilderness and find our way back at some point.
I mean, this whole entire episode is going to be wandering off in the wilderness. Hey, Mr. DNA, thanks for the sub. I have more subscribers with Rogue Agents than I ever did with any Twitch I ever did with like painting or anything like that. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Okay. I don't really want to get started yet because I like to wait a couple seconds for people to hop in.
Cool.
And I know Btera said he wanted to catch this one tonight, and there's a couple other people that are like, "What time do you guys stream again?"
Yeah. I told Brandon that it might be 8:45, so hopefully he's coming around now.
Oh, it is 8:45 right now. Perfect timing.
All right.
All right. Cool. We got a lot of questions too. What's up, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this real quick while we're getting things set up. God, where do I go to put this in here? Content? No. Settings? Channel? Brand, maybe? Where do I add emojis?
Oh, yeah.
Stream?
Face.
I don't remember how to add emojis. Oh, emotes, there it is. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Oop, all right. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No rush. It's a square shape. What are you talking? Go. Ooh. Save. $112 and $40.96. Can't make it out like I wanted to. Yeah, you really can't make that out. How to make this better? Let's try. whatever.
I love you. Bye for now. Give me a kiss, lover. All right, I'm back.
Okay. You can't really see what it is, but you know what it is. I don't know how to make that better. Like,
Is that Kitty?
yeah, it's Kitty. I really don't know how to make that better. All right, let's go ahead and get this going. Let's get the show on the road.
All right.
I'll have to play with it. It's such a terrible emoji, but I'll play with it and get it better. All right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. I think the kitty will be everywhere. We're going to be talking about it, Matt. We're going to be talking about the kitty quite a bit. I think there's like 3 questions about the kitty itself for listener questions.
Let's go, kitty cat.
Let's go, kitty cat. I'm excited for the kitty. All right,
I'm not excited for the kitty to be everywhere.
we're gonna talk about it. It's like, well, I will.
My kitty.
I will lower everybody's fears and how to beat the kitty. All right, let's go.
Love it.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Maximum effort.
In this war, there's no surrender.
He's out of line, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky?
You don't like a fair fight.
I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touché.
All right. I lost Sam. Where would he go? No, you're here, but your picture is not here for some reason. Oh my goodness. Why is your picture not here? What happened? I didn't do anything. Oh. I bet I know what happened. It's because I lowered this. There it is. Okay. There you are. All right. Anyways, welcome everybody to the Rogue Agents again. You know, it would not be a standard show, the Rogue Agents, without technical errors at the very beginning of the show. This seems to be very, very, very standard for us, and I don't know how to get around it. So take that for what you will. Thank you everybody for stopping by, hanging out with us in the Twitch chat. This is going to be a very fun episode. We're going to be hanging out and talking, doing our Patreon awards, or rewards, not awards. I guess we do Patreon awards too. Who's the best patron? But yeah, thanks everybody for coming up by and hanging out with us. This will be kind of a chill episode. We're kind of stalling for time because we got some big things coming over the next few weeks. I guess we can kind of spoil a little bit of we're going to be going a deep dive into a series of crises, seeing as really our first, 10 episodes, we're very focused on roster construction. So we're going to kind of do pretty much the same thing, but more focused on crises, what it entails, and going down that rabbit hole. And who knows how long it's going to take. So look forward to that if you are so inclined. As always, we're going to do a big thanks to our patrons. We got Big Blake, Brad, B-Terra Game, Gronko, Tim, It's Just Rory, Klizmo, Scott. I don't know how to say it. Is it Klizmo or Klazmo? What do you think?
Klizmo.
Let's go Klizmo.
We'll split the difference.
All right. Tim, Neek, Ronald the Accuser, Running Around, Sure Fox, and Sure Thing. Gizmo. Okay. Gizmo or Klizmo?
There we go.
Is the KLY or the KL there, or is it just like spelled Klizmo, but you say Gizmo?
Klizmo. Like Gizmo.
I like Glizmo. I want to say he has in parentheses Scott on his Discord handle, but I don't. It sounds like Glizmo. Okay, so Klizmo, got it. I'm really curious. I want a book report essay style on where this name comes from. All right. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and we're gonna knock out our Patreon giveaway right off the bat here. So how this is gonna work? We have For our $10 patrons, we have up for grabs a shirt that we have designed, and we're actually pretty excited. We'll do all the fine details after the fact with the specific people. We'll reach out to you. But we have a shirt, as well as some tokens that are up for the $10 spot. And basically, if you win one, you can't win the other. That way, it gives everybody a chance to get something. So we're going to go ahead and do this. What we're going to do is we have, if we're going to roll some MCP dice because it's a dice game. And if I get a hit, Gronko will win. If it's a crit wild, Blake will win. And if it's a skull shield, Brandon will win. I think we're going to do the shirt first. So let's go ahead and come over here to the fancy painting desk. All right.
Oh, fancy painting desk.
I'll have your camera completely messed up, but you're here regardless.
That's all right.
All right. Looks like we got a blank. So for the shirt, blank was who? Blank was Ron? No, blank is up here. Blank was nobody. There we go. Because there's two blanks. There's only $10. All right, reroll. Here we go.
Try again.
Got a shield. All right. So Brandon.
High quality content.
Brandon, I did not focus that camera. And I should have tested that out first. What if your dice suck? Clismo, my dice suck. We know who we're talking about. So Brandon, you will be getting a shirt. I will reach out to you and we'll work out the details and we'll get it to you as soon as possible. We're still also kind of working. We get the first proof tomorrow. So it might be a little bit, but we're going to do our best to get to you as soon as we can. All right. For the second one, we have the tokens that will be going out. And now we have Gronko or Blake can get this. We have hit for Gronko, crit wild for Blake. And I got another blank. All right. So
What was that about the dice?
Yeah, you're right. I got the wild. So we have Blake getting the tokens. So shirt is Brandon.
Nice.
And tokens is Blake.
Big Blake getting some big tokens.
Yeah, they're huge. I don't know if you want to put the picture up in the Discord for everybody to see.
I'll post one up in the Discord later. Yeah.
All right. So now we have the other tokens that are $5 patrons. They are up for grabs to get another set of tokens as well. And for this one, we have hits or nobody because there's 6 people, and it was easier to do it this way. Ron is wait. Is there 2 blanks? Am I stacking the favor? I am. I stacked the deck in favor of Ron. Oh my god. What can I do here? I don't think I can roll a die for this. Because I'm stacking it in Ron's favor. Man. I didn't think that one through very well, did I? Because there's 6 people. And there's 2 hits. And there's 2 blanks on a die.
Blank. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I can't do that. Well, all right. We're going to go ahead and do a drawing real quick of the Crucible while I try and figure out what I'm doing here. All right. So the other thing that we have is the Crucible. And this is basically whoever wins this will basically get... why is this not pulling up the right window capture? Whoever is picked for this will do a challenge of the week, along with the challenge of the week of somebody else, eventually when we do the next one. And then, why is it so big? Man, I could have. I promised everybody. I went through and made sure all this stuff worked, and all of a sudden now it's not. Okay, there we go. That's better. Make it like that. Let's see. So as it was laid out in the patron rewards, $10 patrons get 5 spots, $5 patrons get 3 slots, and the $1 patrons get, what was it, 1 slot.
Spin that wheel.
No whammy, no whammy. All right. You need a technical intern to run your stuff while you guys chat. You are not wrong. I think Thoris just volunteered to be our technical intern. So thanks, buddy. All right. So this is for the Crucible. Big Bad Fox, thanks for stopping by. We're doing great. We're having a good time. Okay, we're going to spin the wheel. Whoever gets this one is our first ever Crucible winner.
Oof, that's fancy. Look at it
Yeah.
go running around.
Wait a second. It stacked everybody's name. It was supposed to be random. Because it's not fair if everybody's name's like right next to each other.
All right, we won't say what it says on the screen.
Oh, shuffle. There we go. Okay.
There
We're gonna hit it again. I shuffled it once. It looks pretty good. Okay. Let's try it again.
All right, there we go. For reals this time. I can't do it as long as this thing.
Clismo! There you go. All right, Clismo, you are our
All
first
right.
ever Crucible winner. And so I'll reach out to you about the details about that. Actually, you're on here. You know, he could just do our challenge of the week this week. Go ahead and just DM me what you want the challenge of the week to be this week, and we will front it up. So just hit me up on Discord, and we'll put it forward. Now for our $5 token. How am I supposed to do this? Because it's going to take me forever to set up a wheel. Yeah. Because the blank really messes things up. I can't. I'm just gonna get a 6-sided die real quick. Like,
There we go. Power dice, not other dice.
I had one here the other day. Where'd my die go? Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, Dizzard's gone. I just said that so he'd think I had something to say. I actually don't have anything to say. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. It's Sunday. I'm sweaty. I burned my belly. I had to go tubing on the river yesterday, and that was fun. And I ran out of sunblock, so I got a burnt belly. So now I'm super irritable. It's fantastic. Yeah. Anybody do anything fun this weekend? Cool. Did some other stuff. Awesome. Yeah, it's a shame for running out of sunblock. Like that's. We were the only people who brought sunblock out of the group of 5 people. So what was probably enough sunblock for 2 people turned out to not be enough sunblock for 5.
Okay,
Nice.
so
First getting MCP up in the house tonight.
nice. Is that Oh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head because it's a long one and it's weird. It's like Mick Fluffyson or something like that. Scruff McGruff, that's what it is. I was close. Scruff McGruff. Is that you, Scruff McGruff? He said he's gonna be watching. Okay, so 1 through 6, we have Ron 1, Clismo 2, Sure Thing is 3, Tim is 4, and Nick is 5. I guess when we had 6 people, did I mess that up too? I'm on fire tonight. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I did it right. Okay, here we go. Number 2. So we got Clismo again. So Clismo,
Man, sweet.
Clismo's getting the $5 reward for the tokens.
All right.
Okay. Where's my notes? Okay, Clismo. All right, awesome. And Clismo won the challenge. Coolio. All right, so other announcements that we had, we got the. I'm going through and making sure getting all my stuff reset. Boop. And let's put this up big again. This is quality podcast content for you guys listening on the podcast. This is definitely a more fun live episode. Check us out. Sunday nights 8:30. Sometimes 8:45. We are organized. I promise.
Official show starts at 9.
I mean, by the time we get through everything, it's about you're not wrong. Coolio. Where was I going with this? I lost my notes. TTS League Season 8 is underway. So far I'm 1-1 with my Shadow Guard list. How are you doing? I had a good
Solid.
game. Yeah, you're 2-0, aren't you?
I am. I managed to pull out my second one. My opponent was great. He was another experienced War Machine player who hopped over to Crisis Protocol. And we had a solid game. I think he probably would have won if his dice had been any better. Or
That's
if he
the
wasn't,
spirit.
really new to MCP. So he played well, and we had a fun game.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mine was it was the Cabal list, and I felt pretty bad because I had really hot dice and he did not. So it went.
That compounds with Shadowlands Daredevil.
Yeah, no, if one person has hot dice and the other one doesn't, he's a good sport about it. Really good game.
They just keep getting better.
That's the win more strategy. You roll good and you have unlimited amounts of rerolls everywhere. Yeah, so season 8 is going great. Those of you who are participating, don't forget, over the next week, you'll be able to submit your mid-season changes to swip over to week 4. I just want to let everybody know, and I've said it ever since I saw the model, if I could play Mal as soon as I could, I would play him. So yes, I am playing Malachith on the second half of season 8. And
you and like 85% of other people.
We'll get there. I have been hammering out games of Malachith. I've been proxying the crap out of him. I think I'm at 15 games right now since his card was spoiled on Friday.
Yeah, nice.
Now, granted, like
Thursday. He was spoiled on Thursday.
Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember, but I've had. Oh, like the majority of them are shadow boxes, of course, because this is like faster and easier and trying to figure it out. But I've had 5 against people games, so sitting pretty decent, I think, for getting reps in with him. He is so much fun, but we're gonna get into that later.
Nice. Part 2.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget to use the tournament shoutout channel to advertise anything from your local scene. We have a review of Challenge of the Week from last week. And where is it? Where's the one that I liked? I think it was Smart Alex because I like the name, and I'm a sucker for funny names. He called it Avengers in Disguise, even though there's nothing disguised about this because it's straight up Avengers. But no, it's Steve and Sam. He also has Hulkbuster, and then Ant-Man, Wasp, Marvel, or Miss Marvel, not Cat Marvel. Hood, Okoye, Loki, and Medusa. I just like it. It's simple. It's interesting to me. I like simple things. I think the runner-up would probably have to actually be Half Days Ninja because he's running it in A-Force and I think it's kind of funny. I like it. You don't see much A-Force.
Nice.
So there's a couple good ones in here. So there's that. All right. Then main topic of the week. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about, like I said earlier, it's kind of a chill episode, like Twitch chat. Feel free to talk and interact with us as much as you want to, because that's what it's here for. And this one's gonna be a very interactive episode. And again, people listen on the pod, come hang out with us on Twitch. It's fun. It's fun here. But we're gonna go ahead and start talking about basically a review of Mini Extravaganza, our thoughts on certain things. And I guess if we had set up, if we had time, we'd probably go into some fundamentals, but this might just be an average, actually less than average time length episode. I don't know if we really want us to go into fundamentals because I know that we can really go off the deep end. But so what did you think of Mini Extravaganza?
Oh man, I was super excited. I wish that sometimes I wish that these things came through at a little bit better time of day for me, because I'm pretty sure I lost like a day and a half to this.
Yeah.
Good stuff though.
Friday.
I couldn't pay much attention on Friday, so I know I've been trying to catch up since Friday's topics dropped, and all of the pictures just started coming through. Lots of spoilers, so many more spoilers than I think people anticipated. So
I was expecting to see Malachith's card and Red Guardian, and that was it. I was like, there's no way we see Red Skull's card. There's no way we see any of this Hydra versus Shield. And oh my god, they gave us everything. I think the only thing that we know of that's coming out that we don't know the card for now is Red Guardian and Torch.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, we'll probably get Red Guardian this week, right? That's got to be.
I imagine so. Yeah. But let's go ahead and get started going down this list of amazing reveals and just crazy thoughts of what is coming. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the kitty?
I think we just start with the kitty, right? That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, that's what
we could
wants.
play this like the late night news and be like, coming up on our next segment, Malachith. and just
What
start
do
with
we
everything
say?
else. But
Yeah.
I'd say we just start with the man, get him out.
Okay, let's get the kitty over with. I think we're gonna spend the longest time on this too because it's like the most relevant,
Sure.
and we have some listener questions as well that are pertaining to Malachith. So you might as well hit those two while we're here. But oh my god, I love this model. I love the sculpt. I love the story behind the sculpt. Did you hear that part?
No, I missed the story
Oh,
behind
man.
the sculpt. What is the story behind the sculpt?
Okay, so they knew they were doing Malachith. This is like what Dallas was saying was they knew they were doing Malachith, and they found out that one of the North American leads for Asmodee loves Malachith, and they're like, okay, we got to go show him Malachith because he's super cool. And this is before the kitty, and he's like, no, like bigger, like we need more. And I guess like Dallas just kept coming with different like ideas, and like he had like a bunch of different model ideas for Malachith, and every single time it was just like, no, we need I want more. And I guess Schick just kept going to him as like, don't do the tiger. And I guess Dallas said that like, he went and basically sat in a room with this guy for like an hour of him just basically describing what he envisioned Malachith being in this game, and he just like drew as he was like explaining to him what he like wanted Malachith to be as a model. And I was like, that's so cool. And this is what he came up with, this metal bog tiger. Just it's so freaking cool.
I just imagine Dallas being in that meeting, like just like, I'm just gonna doodle this tiger. I'm not really listening to what he's saying. I'm just gonna doodle. Oh, I love the tiger, Dallas. Like, let's do the tiger.
Yeah, because like he was just saying that like before he went into that meeting, I guess Schick was just saying like, you can't do the tiger. Like we like, no, we're not doing the tiger. So
we're doing the tiger.
Yeah. And then my assumption is that as soon as like he showed the guy the tiger and he was like, yes, that was probably locked in that they had to do the tiger.
Yeah.
That's I imagine that this was Dallas's plan all along. It's like, he's like, if I can get this guy into a room and he wants the tiger, then I'm gonna get my tiger.
I can't stop it. I had to do the tiger, guys.
But he was also saying like the model for Strucker, it was like actually very reminiscent of one of the Malachith models he had drawn up. So
okay,
he said he had a lot of really cool poses and stuff, but the one that they went with was a tiger. And then Schick, I guess, went on to being like, we have this massive model, like now it needs massive rules.
nice.
Yeah, so God, like them going over it, you can just like tell like Dallas was super passionate about it. I love the mini extravaganza because like you get to hear from them of like how passionate they are about all these projects and what they're doing. It's just so much fun. But yeah, Malachith,
Their energy is great.
The Doom Kitty of MCP now.
I think Malachith got like half the stuff that was supposed to be on the bear. And they just like, let's just move this over to Malachith.
Makes sense. Like, he's so good. All right, what are your initial thoughts of Malachith? I know you probably haven't played. You said you've seen him get played.
I've seen him. I haven't put him on the table. I had a couple of guys locally that were proxying him on Thursday night after the reveal, so that was cool to kind of like see basically two different approaches like right away. Like somebody went right for him, and somebody just tried to ignore him. And I believe he dominated the game. They tried to engage him and lost the game that he got ignored.
Yeah, that was the message you showed me was if you like the person who ignored him won, and the person who tried to take him out lost. Which has been very actually almost mirrored to my experience with him so far. I've played into him once, and it was a mere Mal on Mal, and that matchup is 100% who can stall the longest, because as soon as you commit, you're just like whoever committed is dead. So it's like you have to like just hold back as much as you can. And in the mirror, I was the one that had to commit, and then I got lucky with dice, and he was still trying to figure out what tactics he wanted to take with Mao. So he was running like not ideal tactics. So I had the upper hand there, and I was able to. I lost Medusa activation 1 of round 2. All she did that game was Royal Decree Mal up, and then move on to the center point, and then she was dazed. And then died. That's why I say, like, if you're playing like the Malachith mirror, or even playing into Malachith in general, like the longer you can stall, the better off you'll be. If you have to commit anybody to that center line, they're probably going to die, unless it's something like a Hulk. But at that point, like, you're risking your Hulk getting taken out probably round 2, which is not good either. He's so much fun to play though. I got Mr. DNA in the chat saying he's such an aggressive kid on Mal. Yeah, he's so crazy. So here's the thing about it. I've seen people talk about power creep. I've seen people talk about what is happening to this game. This is insane. Talk about how crazy Malachith is and all this stuff. But let me tell you one thing. One major point to Malachith's kit. He only has 2 actions. Like,
yep.
Like he's nothing out of the ordinary. Hulk
and a half. He's got the ferocity.
Yeah, that's fair. But like the thing to think about is like Hulk, who's a threat keeper, who has 2 more health overall, and I'd argue is similar defenses. Like he's 4/4/4 Malachith, and he's got the skulls. But Hulk has the rerolls and the affiliations you're playing him in. You're probably able to bodyguard if you need to, or bring some healing off of somebody else. So I'd argue Hulk is probably more survivable, but for a threat keeper.
I mean, I got it Scourge and Hood just lined up to stand behind Malachith.
That's fair. But like my point being is like you have Malachith as he is, and then you have Hulk who's a threat keeper and has way more I wouldn't say quality of actions, but he has action efficiency. Because he has the plays, he has the throws, he has a throw off of an attack. Malachith, all Malachith is doing is charge, strike, and maybe a beam or 2 strikes. Granted, that's a 7-die strike with Pierce, and its energy is pretty good.
It's a Mystic Beam forward too. I mean,
yeah,
it's gonna hit something.
We'll get into it. I have a lot of thoughts on Malachith. This is gonna be the hottest of hot takes. I guess not really so hot because I've been playing the shit out of them. But 1 second, Matt says, "Yeah, that's why I've been testing Cat Marvel and Black Cat, and my garden got the list just to try and stagger him." All right, so I'm gonna go into that real quick here. Let's go through the rest of things real quick, and then I'll get into the whole cat thing.
So I like that he's got 1 of each attack. I think that's an awesome facet to the kit. That he's
absolutely.
Like which one of these abilities am I using this turn and why? Like that's great. I love that kind of versatility in a unit. I love that he's like a hodgepodge of so many different abilities. Like he's got a little dash of domino. He's got this like feast or famine charge with maybe a throw.
Yeah.
I was joking when I said I wanted the inverse of Sam's leadership for Corvus leadership card, and now I've got it on the Bog Taiga. So
the Bog Tiger, the Kitty of Doom, I think is the official name. That's what I'm calling him, anyways. The Kitty of Doom
cat.
Yeah. Oh, also, if anybody did not see, there's a size reference photo that AMG put up of him standing next to Zemo. And the kitty's paw is where Zemo's head is. Like, it's oh man, I can't wait to get this thing. It's so beautiful. All right, so let's talk about rules. That leadership is actually really, really amazing. I love it. I'd argue it's better than Sam's because of who's using it and who you're giving it access to. Sam's is great, but it's a get out of jail free card for Sam's leadership, in my opinion. Where Malachith is like, let me win more. Let me just push my aggressiveness right down your throat. Let me just like dice are going my way. The scenario is going my way. I'm just going to take your model away, and I'm going to get my next killer into position to do it again. It's such a good leadership though. Like the fact that it heals, you gain a power, and you advance short. Where it's really, really cool is it actually, like, believe it or not, people, Crossbones is really, really good under Malachith. He has his aggressive, but what's better than aggressive is being able to make that short move out of activation to set up him to hit somebody or do something. It makes sure Zemo can, like, get a charge off round 1 or whatever round you're doing. Like, it makes Zemo's power economy really, really good. And it sets him up to charge and strike twice. Like, hello? Like, anybody who has like a charge is just stupid under Malachith. It's so good. I love this leadership. It's been very, very fun to play. I will go back to what I say about X-Force, and I will say it's a world of difference building lists with tactics cards that are like pretty superb, as well as everything. And B Terra, thanks for the subs and the gift subs. Yeah. But man, his leadership is so much fun. Like they did a banger of a job. I think my favorite part of this model though is ferocity. Like it's like I don't know. I don't. You haven't played it yet and you haven't seen it yet. But being able to move medium for 2 power that he's always going to have unless he's like poisoned or because you can't stun him if he's like poisoned or if he's in Loki's bubble. Which that's the thing that I'm concerned about is what happens when I go into Loki or Root. But it only matters round 1 because he gains power so easily. Anyways, but ferocity, being able to make that throw when he has Pierce on his attack, it makes 4 Asgard off of Thor like child's play. Because like with the Pierce being there, you're probably doing at least 1 damage to get the throw off. Which
we're real bad.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to whiff on my throws. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I think I've missed 1. But it was going into 6-die cap or something like that. And he like like spiked like everything. Like he had like eight blocks or some crap. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Like
I mean I've rolled 6 dice into Iron Fist. 6 Thanos dice into Iron Fist a few too many times and done no damage. Missed my wild, all the jazz. Like but so I'm sure it happens. The more defensive they are, the worse it's gonna be. But that's all right. You got that Mystic Beam.
Oh man,
get around most of it.
Well, so like this is like where I think Malachith's play pattern is he wants to charge into an ideal position to get the best range 4 beam off possible, and then beam 2 to 3, 4 people. Because if he's getting at least 4 people, that means he's generating 2 to 3 to 4 power, as long as he's not paying too much for skulls.
Oh my god, it's an omnidirectional throw.
Oh yeah, no, it's you didn't notice that part. It's omnidirectional, so he can throw you whichever way he wants to. So you can literally like what I love about it is I'll charge him in, and I'll throw the character to where I can literally set up the perfect beam. It's very. I honestly think like his ideal activation is charge, attack, throw, beam. And then he'll end off like round 1 or round 2, whatever round it is. He's probably gained 6 to 8 power off of that round.
Right.
And then he's got freaking Domino's probability manipulation with Cloak of Shadows. For those of you who have not played Domino very much and don't know how this ability works, number 1. First of all, yeah, it's good. If people say he doesn't have defensive tech, this is probably one of the best defensive techs in the game. 4/4 dice and being able to count skulls when he pays for it, when he's very often just flush with power. But so basically how it works is you roll your dice, and this is how it's supposed to work. You roll your dice, and then your opponent does not roll their dice. It's very important if you're playing into Malachith to make sure that you make them roll their dice before you roll your defense dice. Because they must pay for their skull crits before they resolve their crits, which is in the steps of the dice is before you actually roll your defense dice. So you're actually doing them a favor if you roll dice too early and you jump the gun, because it's like, oh, you got no blocks. I don't have to pay for any crits. So it's a good way to like try and limit Malachith's output by making him pay power unnecessarily by not knowing perfect information. Because if you roll that dice, then it's like they just know perfect information at that point. It's like, well, I only need to get like 3 more damage, so I'm going to pay for 2 skulls now, instead of only doing 1 or not paying for any or whatever, or overpaying. So that's like, please remember that. Let your Malachith roll their dice before you drop your defense dice, so that way you're not giving them perfect information. Then the next thing is you must pay the power before you roll your crits in. You can't just roll them like, oh, I got 5 skulls, I'm going to pay all my power now. You have to pay the power before you roll your crits in. Now, the next thing, you're allowed to do this into people who you can't modify dice into because it is not modifying dice. It is treating them as a critical. So, the thing about this...
Rules nuance incoming.
Well, here's the best thing, too, is... Because of it treating it as a critical, when Witch or Dormammu rather, excuse me, is attacking into him, Dormammu does not get to count his skulls as crits if you paid for them because they are treated as crits for the attack, and it does not state for this character. So that means that skull is then treated as a crit. So Dormammu does not get to count it. Yeah,
you get to take your skulls away from that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now the other thing on top of this, there's so much law with this rule, and I'm kind of glad that I decided to break this down because I see a lot of people mess it up actually quite a bit. If you pay for the skull, it is now a crit, so you can actually re-roll the skull because of this. Does that make sense? Okay. Then on top of that, if your re-roll turned it back into a skull, you still have Cloak of Shadows up. And it still counts as a crit. So it's like if you have a reroll, you might as well reroll the skull and try and get something, or you reroll a bunch of them. Like let's say you roll like.
It's like if you have multiple skulls and you didn't pay for all of them, or you rolled in more skulls. If you've got a skull that is being treated as a crit, and you've got an extra skull, like you're not losing anything.
Yeah, you actually gain.
Yeah.
So it's like if I have like recal on him, and I have like hit, skull, blank, and then I go and I pay for 1 skull, and then or I pay for 3 or 2, whatever. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, but basically then like it skulls out for I get to get 3 skulls and then I basically get to count it because I paid for 3 ahead of time.
This ability is so hard to describe.
It's
so simple. Like once you actually understand like the concept, it's so simple. But I have tried to explain this so many times, like using dice, talking people through it, like, and this is just like audio basically. Like, even if you're watching this right now, like we're not like showing you anything. So it's really easy to understand once you understand the concept, but it's really hard to explain.
So Clismo actually, this might help it. Clismo asks, if the skull is already treated as a crit, though, why would you want to modify that with a reroll? So the thing is let's say you only paid for 1, but you have 2, and you have a reroll. You can reroll that skull, and if it rerolls into something else, it's now a hit, and then that skull you didn't get before, you now get.
Right. So it's really just for situations when you have more skulls than what you paid for, and you've got rerolls sitting around that you don't know what to do with.
Like. Yeah, it's super good. I'm trying to think about the other nuances with this, but like basically the best thing to do is like go play domino and just like run this into every situation because every single little thing that you know about rerolling skulls and crit skulls is just basically fucked with this ability. I know Thoras is here, so if I got anything wrong, please correct me. But I'm pretty sure I have this ability down pretty good. And I can't think of anything else that's like nuanced with this. The last thing about this is you can prepay. If I roll no skulls, but I have like 4 crits, I can still pay for the skulls in case my crits roll into skulls. So if I have like 5 power and I roll like hit crit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pay 1 in case I roll into a skull. You can absolutely do that. There's no like, oh, you have to have a skull to roll to pay for it. You can prepay even if you have no skulls yet. But I think that covers it. It's a big rule, and I think it gets misplayed a lot. But that's why his defenses are actually insanely good because he's 4/4/4, and he's gonna have power for it. All right, recap from Clismo. Domino rolls 2 skulls, pays a power to change 1 to a crit, and can conceivably reroll 1 of those skulls with an ability while still maintaining the crit status of the other skull. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Yep. And what's funny is that portion of the rule, I actually did not realize up until I saw somebody talking about it on Malachith. I was like, wow, I played X-Force for this long, and I never noticed this part of it. Yeah, no, I did not play it that way either because I was reading it and I'm like, it treats it as a crit. I was like, wait, oh my god, I've been doing this wrong for so long. I've been playing X-Force since they came out, and I have been messing up Domino with that aspect. Like she's even scarier than she was before. I love it. Malachith is fun, guys. Like Malachith is so much fun. And then the last couple things, he gets an extra power on his power phase, and oh yeah, you can't modify dice into him. Like, okay.
I'll take it.
Then he has flight and immunity, hex, and stun, which I think the immunity hex is actually really good because if he was able to get hexed, oh, that'd be so sad.
Yep. So not immune to stagger.
No, he is not
immune to
immune to
poison.
stagger. All right, so this
Poison
brings
probably
us.
doesn't matter.
This brings us to the whole Black Cat debate, right? So a lot of people, I see a lot of people saying that, oh, you're playing Malachith, I'll just bring Black Cat and I'll just stagger spam you every single round. Okay, so the biggest thing about Black Cat is unless you're going to literally do nothing with Black Cat round 1, Malachith is going to kill Black Cat round 1. And then, oh yeah, Malachith has priority round 2. So Black Cat is just a dead model if you do anything with her. Because here's the thing about his range is by himself, he can move, charge, and get to a B. So if you go anywhere with Black Cat, basically off of your deployment line, if you go anywhere to like, I think it's like the half part of a B forward. I don't remember if it's like exactly contesting a B, but if you go pretty much any movement around a B, Malachith can reach you, and that's 7 dice energy with Pierce, counting skulls into
That's
Cat.
not even counting the Bifrost. If he can Black Bifrost.
Well, he can't do that round 1, but
no, round 2 he can be anywhere
Yeah.
he wants to be on the board, especially if he didn't have to charge into somebody, or if he didn't have a juicy charge target.
But like, so that's like my big argument into people saying like Cat is amazing into him, and I say, well, what are you gonna do with Cat round 1? If you do anything with her that is not like sitting on a back D or grabbing a point and then going back to safety, she's probably going to be taken out by him because he's going to wait until she activates anyways, unless you're running super wide, and then he's kind of forced to. And at that point, you kind of have some stuff you could do with Cat, but that's like the only opportunity. But with Malachith, if Cat is your last activation, I feel like you're losing out on some other places anyways. Also as well, I'm a dick and I run Heimdall with Malachith, and I'm just going to teleport him forward, which means that he can charge onto the center line and hit anybody. I love C's and E's, so come at me, bro.
I think that you can probably hold. You can hold Black Cat back, and you've just got to have a bigger strategy. Like,
Yeah.
If he's coming after your Black Cat opening activation of round 2, like she's probably toast. But you've got to have other models in position to now pounce on Malachith and just lay into him as much as you can.
Absolutely agree.
Because 7 threat, you're talking a third to half of your list basically sitting on the table in this one character. So he's got a good health point pool. What, 18 total health?
Yeah.
Behind his skull counting 4 dice across the board defenses. So I mean, I don't see him going down easy, but I think that if you, with a good strategy that Black Cat is a part of, I can see that. And if you've got multiple stagger effects, like Matt said something about bringing Captain Marvel involved too. So like if you can, A-Force probably has decent game, right? Because then you've got what, Marvel, Black Cat, and She-Hulk, and your She-Hulk's got the big bodyguard online.
And slow.
Yeah.
I think A-Force is probably one of the best suited to try and take Mal out. But with my list at that point, I just go Shadowlands Daredevil and like my list is funner
the
now.
pivot off.
Yeah. But anyways, I do think the Black Cat has stock, but it's like Sam said, you need to have a strategy built into it. You need to be ready to know what you're doing and have practice the matchup. It's not going to be, oh, Cat does stagger, I'm going to be able to get this off and stagger him, and it's going to be way easier. It's not that simple. Especially if the Mal player is competent and has practiced into Cat quite a bit, I don't think it's going to be a difficult matchup because of Cat alone. I think you're going to need multiple pieces of that puzzle. Another one that I've seen of people saying like, "Oh, I'm just going to take this into Mal," is Gamma. I think you are absolutely a fool if you are thinking you could drop Gamma into Mal and have a good game.
Bring it. If I'm running Mal, I'm running Gamma for what that's worth. So yes.
Are you okay? So let me learn you.
Let's counter Mal with Gamma, please.
Wait, are you saying like it is good into him, or are you saying it's terrible?
No, I'm saying that if I'm playing Malachith, I'm probably bringing Gamma in
my
roster. I want to force you into an E scenario that you have to fight to win.
Yeah.
So let's roll some dice.
Yeah. So, well, the biggest argument that I see is like, oh, I'm gonna get Mal on 15. Okay, so 15 Malachith Gamma is Malachith, Zemo, Bullseye, and a 3 threat of choice. So for me, that's Heimdall. And if I'm going into something like Black Order, I'm gonna run Sin and Crossbones to actually rival Thanos' priority control.
Nice.
Like it's like what? I played a game. I sent you the picture of it. It was round 2 against a Shadow Box, Avengers. It was Steve, Panther, Hulkbuster, and Sam, which I think is actually a really good Gamma team for Avengers. Hulkbuster, Steve, Sam, were
Panther was injured in the picture you showed me.
Yeah,
everybody else was dead.
Yeah, like. So I had a super good spike onto Panther round 1, but that's not out of the realm of possibility in my opinion, because if it's Gamma, you want to go for the center. If you're going to hold back, then you're really going to be giving up points. So it's like I spiked into Panther hard and beamed, and I did take damage to like Sam and Cap. And then round 2, open with Malekith, who goes into a attack into Hulkbuster to throw him into a good beam line, which ended up Steve bodyguarded, which let me throw Steve into Hulkbuster to set up the beam line. And then turned into a smash, or I smashed first, and then did that, and turned the beam into an 8-die beam, hitting Mystic on Steve and Sam and Panther, which absolutely just nuked Steve and Sam. And then Hulkbuster is sitting at like 8 health, and then because I'm hitting 4 people with the beam, I generate 4 power, which lets me do follow me over to Sin, who does illicit tech into Hulkbuster, which takes him down to like 3 health left, who then goes into Hulkbuster, leaving him on 1, which then I partners in crime over to Crossbones. All the while, I'm getting leadership triggers to get everybody exactly where they want to be. Don't play Gamma into Malekith. That is my lesson here. I don't think it's a good time for the opponent the person who's not playing Malekith. I think he's just insane on Gamma, and I think trying to force him into low threat is not going to do too much, because he himself is what is like running Gamma, and his support pieces are just basically cleaning up the mess. They're just coming with their brooms and picking up all the guts and blood off the ground that the tiger just got done trying to eat. Like, man, he's an animal, and he's fun to play. And I feel kind of bad doing nothing but gushing about Malekith, but this is what people wanted. They wanted to hear how to beat Malekith, and all I've done is how do you be afraid of Malekith, because this is the Doom Kitty. So I think now's a good time, I think, to go into how you actually beat Malekith, because there are ways to beat him, and there's actually very, very good ways to beat him that are very, very, very easy. It's not branding a wide list. It's not like that type of answer. It's you just ignore Malekith. Because let's look at this. Gamma's probably a bad option because like you can't really ignore him on that game. But like if you're looking at, let's say, Mad Men or a D or anything really, and you're able to like spread out and go after his little minions, it's just like Dorm, it's just like Thanos, it's just like any big character like Hulk. Is a lot of time it's always just, hey, just ignore them, and they can't do as much to you. So most people find it hard to ignore someone punching them in the face, but that's the thing, is like he doesn't have the action economy to be able to like do. Like, yeah, he's going to be punching in the face with a 7-die and a beam, but make sure you spread out to try and spread that beam out. Make sure you go through and, like, have that in your mind. But you're going to be taking damage and it's hard to get around it. Like I'm not saying it's easy, but I've found like the opponents that do the best into Malachith are the ones who take out the supporting pieces, because before you know it, like if I have like Sin, Crossbones, and Bullseye as my supporting pieces, Bullseye dies super easy. Sin dies super easy if she's like trying to do anything, and then Crossbones, he's not easy to kill, but he's not like a super tank. Zemo, he's fairly decent. Like he's not hard to kill, but he's not easy to kill. Panther, if you take him, he's hard to kill, but if you focus on them instead of Mal, your chances go up. And before you know it, I have Bullseye and Mal, and I'm not scoring the points. And next, like, you just win because I can't catch you on score. So try to get the score out.
Yeah, all the pieces you mentioned there are all somewhat weak to range except for Sin. So, like, if you can get those guys at a range 4 band and just start laying into them, like they don't have a lot of answers, right? So Malachith's got the beam, but unless you're clumped up at range 4, he's going to get one target off of that. That's not what he wants.
Yeah,
The charge strike off a big base medium move is a ton of range, so it's not like you're going to have an easy time staying away from that.
Yeah.
But if you can limit the targets so that it's not that magical Christmas land of I charge into this guy, throw him into that guy, and then beam the both of them, I think that you're setting yourself up to succeed at least as much as you can. I think spreading it out, right? So if you can get it on, like Spider Portals and Mutant Madmen, those flip secures are always really difficult for a big 2-action model to handle. Now he's great. He's better on it than most because he's got the dice.
No. So I this depends on your opponent, and I think Malachith is probably one of the best people on D shapes because of Black Bifrost. Now, what you have going for you here is, like, if you can go off of the Discord and the Facebook and how much hate Black Bifrost is getting, you're not going to have to worry about this unless you're facing someone like me who sees the value in Black Bifrost. Because, I'm being completely honest. Like, I don't think I've talked to maybe 3 people who like are hot on Black Bifrost as much as I am. But Black Bifrost is massive. Because it fixes exactly what you're bringing up, Klizmo. He says, if the strat is to spread out and minimize your losses from Malachith, are secures or extracts your best bet for doing so? I imagine spread secures since it forces him to lead points to come after you. Generally, yes. But that's why he has Black Bifrost. If anybody's listening to this and trying to play Malachith, play Black Bifrost. Like, that card is insane for his mobility, and it fixes the issue of your opponent trying to spread out so far, or just like ignore him and like just, hey, I'm gonna ignore this whole entire flank of the game and take out your peons on this side. Black Bifrost ignores that completely. So
I like Black Bifrost. I think that it's gonna Bifrost. I think the actual pronunciation is Bifrost, but I'm not super hip on my Scandinavian tongues. I think that I'm going to be somewhat happy if I'm basically giving up 2 points on a D to Malachith, and he's going to take 4 points of damage to himself on one of these sides. I feel like unless I'm losing models to that, I'm going to be largely okay with him bouncing back and forth and laying an attack into somebody that I don't really care all that much about if I'm wide enough, right? So I think that it's got good play. I think you want to bring it. When I look at Black Bifrost, what I'm looking at is I wonder what that's going to do for Defenders Portals, because I feel like this is going to open up some new brain space in the community, and we're going to look at how Malachith plays on his Bifrost, and then look at Defender Portals in a whole new light, because we've all complained, or at least people complained about it being a first turn play. People who played Defenders have complained about the changes to it. Is like, well, this card's useless now.
Wait. You said 4 damage?
Right, because it's 1 on each side if he's bouncing back and forth. Right, so he bounces 1. I'm talking over the course of like 4 turns.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
So he sets this thing up, and he's bouncing back and forth.
But my counterpoint to that is his leadership makes no penalty to Bifrost.
Well, that's true. He's got to be killing stuff.
Yeah. Well, he can't use the leadership on himself, so you're gonna have one person be killed by
other people have to be doing it.
But you also have access to Hood and affiliation, and But it's not like Demo can kill people. Like it's not going to be hard to trigger that onto him. But like I just see Black Bifrost as a essentially free teleport for Malachith and whoever wants to. Clismo, you said pentagram. Pentagrams of falafel. Is
falafel pentagrams.
Is
Defender portals.
Yeah, it's a card that comes with Doctor Strange. It's basically the same thing as Black Bifrost or Bifrost, but they pay 1 instead of take a damage. They pay 1 power, go through the portal, but same thing. But where it's better on Malachith is his base size makes the distance that you can place this thing insane.
It's a different resource too.
Yeah, and the damage
health instead of power.
Yeah.
Thor and the character jumping through. Character jumping through is nasty.
Is a Doom Kitty.
Yeah.
So Thor says, do you like intrusions for him? I am really torn on this because when I play attrition teams, especially on intrusions, I don't like playing intrusions with attrition teams because most of the time I don't want my opponent to be able to adjust the matchups I have going for me. I don't want my opponent to be able to say, okay, well, I have this person here. They're going to jump through the portal and be on the other side now, so that way you don't have an easy kill. Or I have this person on the other side of the map, so now they're going to hop over here and contribute to the side that everything's dying. I don't like giving my opponent that option. So if I have Black Bifrost or Bifrost, I'd rather run Gamma, Demons, and I think Cosmic Portals. I think Portals is the one to go to. But yeah, anyone can use Bifrost, Bifrost, whatever it is. You got me super confused now. It probably is Bifrost.
I really like it. So when I'm playing in an attrition squad, I'm looking at intrusions and demons for my base more often than not. And I see them both as basically dead scenarios.
Yeah.
I don't even want to stand on a demon portal anymore unless it's like Wong on my home point or someone who's immune or someone that I don't care about. And
show me on the doll where Daredevil touched you.
and then I'm gonna use the intrusions to go and chase down extract holders. I could literally care less about giving up those few points a turn. And if you want to come to me, that's great. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think intrusions is good for him. It's just I hate giving my opponent that agency, but out of everything that's available, it's probably the better of the options. However, if you get Black Bifrost, I wouldn't mind putting a D in there, whether it be Riots or Cosmic. I don't think I do Spider Portals because I don't think he wants to be paying the power to flip.
No. I still think he's going to have a rougher time on Mutant Madman and Spider Portals.
Well, Mutant Madman is only an issue because of his model count. Like, because he's running 4 to 5 wide, he's not going to be able to keep up on Mutant Madman. So, Clismo, that's probably my number one, is Mutant Madman is probably a hard one for him. I think Meteors, I'd argue, is probably a hard one just because of the fact that it's pay to flip. Like, it's an easy one for him because it's a C, but he doesn't want to be paying power, and he doesn't have the models to win. Like, you're just going to win Meteors every single time because you're going to get 2 more flips than he is. So Meteors is bad just because of, like, the flipping economy that is going on. Mal's base can block the portal, though, right, due to its size. Black Bifrost, I mean, if he's completely centered on it, yes. But it's like, if you're gonna sit there and measure things out to be like, that's the thing. It's like there's like a millimeter or 2 millimeters to be able to, if you have like a big base on a token, there's a very, very small window of room to where you could block it off to be able to use it. Are you getting an example?
Yeah, so this is a big base and a range 2, right? Which is basically what you're dealing with. Because range 2 is going to be 1 inch for the token itself, then 1 inch on either side.
Yeah.
So the base can't actually block it, even if it wants to.
Yeah, like in real life, it's, in my opinion, impossible to block it. But on TTS,
you can do that.
Yeah.
Right. So like you can create situations where you're going to block off a massive chunk of it, but if they can get around to the other side of your base, you're going to give it up.
Absolutely. So don't plan on that happening. And unless your opponent is like a god at measuring, there's no way that they're going to be able to block it off completely. Like you're gonna be able to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that covers it for him, though. I think we covered his strengths really well and his weaknesses. Like it's really just spread, ignore Mal as much as you can, and take out like his peons, because as soon as you get that, then yeah. Did we get confirmation on the base size? Yeah, he's a large base. He's same as Dormammu, Hulk, all that.
Yep. So I mean, drown him in statuses that aren't stun or hex, and
yeah. If you can get the
try not to
stagger
give
on
too
him,
much.
if you can get the stagger on him, it's huge. I think Iron Fisting him is a decent play because that's a huge thing gone. But I'm telling you what, if I see Iron Fist across the table for me, I am going to do everything I can to kill him before he can Iron Fist me. Or I'm going to ignore him until I can kill him and then get priority and kill him again. Because
a range 4 Mystic Beam, even at 5 dice, is going to make pretty short work of Iron Fist.
And if you're playing Malachith, play Smash. It's too good to make that beam like an 8-die beam. So yeah,
Too much.
She-Hulk, Helios, Scorched Earth. So like you're putting, but I guess the crazy thing too though is I see stuff like that and I'm like, okay, you're gonna go ahead and sink that much resource into one character, and at that point, I'm happy with Zemo and Bullseye and Hood or whoever running around and doing my stuff for me. Like Zemo's huge for him. He really is.
That's tough. I mean, if you Hulk and She-Hulk going into Malachith is still going to be an uphill battle for him, but it's all going to come down to whether or not he can, basically, who's going to waste the most actions having to do stuff. He's got to charge. Neither one of them do. That's going to go a long ways. And then on top of that, if he can, the way that he can position that Bifrost token, right? And the beam too, right? But if by basically putting it at the back of his base, he's gonna effectively stagger you if you want to come and follow him.
Yeah.
When that time comes. So.
Which I really wish we could get Black Bifrost for the league because I'm gonna be missing it. It's gonna
be sad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. He's probably gonna go into my swap roster. But it's going to be, I'm going to stick with Convocation. He's just going to slot in.
I think he's stupid in Convocation. Like, you hit him once, let me just range one bump away. Like, now I'm completely out of range. Like, what the hell?
No.
Oh, man.
I'm ready to charge. What are you doing?
Yeah. Like, him in Convocation is probably, like, his best splash spot, in my opinion, because of that stupid-ass bump.
I mean, he's a wizard, too. So like,
he is a wizard.
Come where you belong.
One last thing I want to hit on is Butcher of Thor's. I think it's a really cool attack. It's a range 3, but in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think it's a cool attack. But in all reality, you're paying 4. You're paying 4 to get a range 1. Not a range 1, but you're paying 1 to get a placement. Which is basically, if you're going max distance, range 3 and range 1 of that range 3, you're looking at pretty much a range 4 of distance for a place. So it's huge in that regards. Yeah. Other than that, it's kind of just like, it's dice. Like, Malachith is dice. That's all he is. He doesn't got fancy tricks. He doesn't have crazy action economy. He's not doing control shenanigans. He's just dice. But he's got really consistent dice.
I feel like Butcher of Thor's is more often than not going to be like, I'm at 10 power. I don't know what to do with myself, so I'm going to Butcher of Thor's.
Yeah.
Just to roll 3 extra dice on this and maybe drop
some. Yeah, like Klizma said, if you're choosing to ignore him and he decides to spend 4 on Butcher, you're probably happy with that decision.
Oh, God,
Absolutely. Like, again, like out of the 14, 15 games I've done Butcher of Thor's 1 time. And I wanted, it was for the movement. I wanted the massive displacement for him. It's good to get out of jail free. Like, do a strike, generate 4 power, and then go strike someone who's off by themselves and displace themselves, so that way you're essentially staggered if you want to do something to me. Like, that's its use.
Especially if you're like so if you can ferocity into one area and then Butcher of Thor's into somebody holding an extract, right?
Yeah.
And get away from the posse, pick up whatever they're carrying, because you're rolling 10 dice at it, right? It should die.
Yeah, I don't know about dying. Like, it's dice beat dice, yo. But like Chris was saying, like the placement alone, like it's basically a range 4 place for him. If it's a bigger base, even bigger. It could even potentially be a range 5 if it's going into somebody like Hulk. I really don't know. probably best to say just range 4. But anyways, yeah, it's just a cost 4 range 4 place essentially. Slaves to the Kitty podcast heel turn. Do you see the picture I put in this thing like under the Rogue Agents logo? I put a bog tiger in there.
Oh, and also Craig. No, we didn't ban Hyper Viper. He's just not here tonight because his schedule changed again. So
yeah, hopefully
he's back soon.
Yeah,
or we figure out another good night for us all to do this.
Hopefully so. But yeah, I love Malachith. I don't think he's the super scary thing that the internet is making him out to be. I think he's definitely something to be aware of. It's just like Thanos. It's just like Hulk. It's just like any of the big threats. You need to know how to play into him. But he's not unbeatable, and he's not going to be crazy. Where he's going to be crazy is the fact that I truly expect at least 80% of rosters for the mid-season swap to be taking him because of how cool he is.
I mean, everybody wants to figure it out. Everybody's going to want to have this, at some point. And, say what you will about TTS. One of the great things about it is it lets you test drive stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not out physically for a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
And people might want him for something soon, but they might not. He's going to be an investment, like it's not going to be a cheap model.
Big T went from Thanos to Tiger.
Yeah.
From another one from Clismos, what other big is good into him off the top of your head?
Thanos is going to be good into him.
Yeah, he's controlling him.
Yeah. I'm move him away, then I'm going to teleport him further. Give him a slow.
Funnily enough, Colossus.
Hell's yeah.
Colossus is actually pretty good into him because he's going to be able to take his hits and not care. And he'll love the power. I like Colossus into him. But big bet.
Thor. Honestly, Thor's going to be pretty good.
Oh, yeah. That's so when I was running my tri-affiliation, I was like, I love this right now because of how many Malachiths there's going to be. Like, Thor into Malachith is actually pretty good because of the fact that he has the charge, the stagger off the charge. He could throw him off the superpower. He can shock him. I think Thor's probably got like the best like singular kit to take out Malachith.
And Thor can't modify his dice anyway, so you're just 4 Asgard into this all day. And like, if I stagger and throw you, I just feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say if I had to pick one model, it's Thor, and that's why I was really enjoying the tri-affiliation. But I've succumbed to Doom Kitty completely. All right.
And Doomed. Oh man, Doomed is good into this too, right? Because his main attack is electric. Oh man, go Asgard.
Quag, the Triforce died. Yeah, I'm just going full Cabal. Cabal Shadowlands Daredevil. I'm playing Mal every single game. Like I every game I played where I was like, I should probably be playing Daredevil, and Malachith comes out. He's just so much fun to play. And that's like the craziest thing about him is like, you don't like I'm having so much fun with him, and that's what I love is when I can play a character that looks this cool and plays this well and is just super fun to play. So that's why the Triforce died. I do think that Triforce is actually pretty good though. It was I was calling it the Shadow Cabal of Asgard. But it's super fun. It's super fun. If anybody wants that list, just hit me up. I'll send it over to you. It's a fun list. But we should probably get off Malachith. We've been talking about him for probably like 45 minutes.
Not enough. More
Kitty.
No, he's great. He's great. Kitty's great. Have fun. You're gonna see a lot of him. So I don't know. I look at the Kitty and I get some Dormammu flashbacks where it's like, oh, okay, so like here is this character that was like super hype and super scary, and then once everybody has like 6 months with it on the table, it gets a lot less scary. But I think Kitty's gonna be good. Kitty looks fun.
I think the biggest mistake with it is people are going to be overly aggressive with him because of how easily it is to be overly aggressive with him. And they're going to think that they get to plop this model down and have an instant win because of how crazy he is. I think we gave plenty of examples of where he struggles. I think he's a completely balanced character. Like I don't think he's power creep at all. I don't think he's scary. I think he is 100% a balanced character who is worth his threat. I was gonna play the perfectly balanced, but I can't find it now. I'll put this one
Touche.
away.
I mean, that'll work.
See ya, Thoris. But yeah, I think the cat's super good. I think a lot of people are gonna be trying to splash in places he doesn't belong, but I think he does belong in quite a few places that can actually fit him. I think X-Men sound fun. I think Guardians sounds okay, but I think Guardians would rather be playing Maw. I think Guardians like Space Maw more than the Kitty, to be completely honest. I think Avengers don't want that high of a threat because they have so much going on with their roster already, and they'd rather take Hulk. I think A-Force has too much going on already. I don't think X-Force wants it. X-Men wants it. Brotherhood doesn't want it because it's too much going on, in my opinion. They got 6-threat leader with Mags. I guess Mystique could run him, but he's not really doing anything for Mystique. You'd rather run like a heavy Hulk, or Hulk, but Jugs list. I was trying to run down my head. Cabal, obviously.
Obviously.
Criminal Syndicate, I actually think he's really fun under Daredevil. People call me crazy for it, but I like him under Daredevil into a tall list. Asgard, I actually think he's really fun with like a dual affiliated Asgard Cabal list. That was where I started with it, and then I ended up just keeping Daredevil because all that. Now I'm starting to blank. Another one I want to hit because I keep thinking of things because he's such a big topic right now. I think Shadowlands Daredevil has actually got game into him. I played against Sooner the other night, and it would have been fine because I went the whole Sin Crossbones trying to do priority control, but it was just a waste because then I have somebody who's super easy to die into Daredevil. I should have gone Zemo and Heim to try and control what Mal could do, but Shadowlands Daredevil is fine because it goes into that whole entire aspect of one, you have a character who's not going to die that easily, and then you just take out all the peons with your good attacks, and then next thing you know, you're just left with Malachith, and you can't do anything, and it's just game at that point. So I think.
So I mean, people have been complaining that like, oh, he turns off Shadowlands Daredevil leadership. Oh, I can't modify any dice. Well, first of all, your leadership still works on every other model on the board.
it's just Malachith.
Second of all, you still have a whole lot of guns to just shoot at the giant guy on a tiger. Like, he's a big target. He's never going to have cover. Like, just shoot at him.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that, but like Malachith is hardly like sitting on a point or holding an objective because that's not what he wants to be doing. That's what his friends are for.
Right.
So like you wouldn't be getting the reroll into him anyways. So it's kind of like, granted,
Speaking of never having cover, X-Men sounds fun.
Yeah, X-Men. I was talking to Omnis about the X-Men one and like being able to just like round one hop charge, like hello.
He's wherever he wants to be.
Yeah, I think him and X-Men sounds super fun. I'm probably gonna end up playing that eventually, but I have my eyes set on Hydra Malekith, and I'm calling it what did I call it? Hydra Kitty? The Hydra Kitty? Is that what we're calling it?
Hydra
I can't remember.
Hydra Kitty.
Hydra
Kitty Dojo.
Hydra Kitty Dojo.
All right, that's a good segue. Let's talk some Hydra. Strucker looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of desire to play the man.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to play into him. You know, I'm excited for new things to play into from this mini extravaganza way more than I am for new things that I actually want to play. Like everything looks cool. It's just like, I'm all right. I'll play something else, but you have fun with that. So this like plague spreading Hydra High Council leadership is pretty rad.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody messaged me
like,
that they're dropping from League.
I don't remember. I want to say like maybe blue green or black white magic. Like
It's
this kind of like proliferation.
It's straight up black green. It's a black green deck.
Black green. There we go. Yeah.
It's black green deck if you're playing Strucker. If you're playing Skull, it's a straight up red black deck. And I tell you what, I am playing the shit out of Skull when he comes out. Like, oh my god, I think Skull is super freaking sweet. I am all in on Malachith and Red Skull. and I will run I will run Malachith under Red Skull, and I will run Red Skull under Malachith. I think they are sweet.
I can't wait till you stagger all your people. I'm just going to Helios laser the crap out of it. Just be like, what? Oh, cool. Staggered everybody? Sweet. Let's just go ahead and get him off the board.
That's why. So Red Skull's on. Let's finish Strucker, and then we'll hit Red Skull up a little bit.
Sure.
So Strucker's affiliation is actually really, really cool. I did a video with Sploosh, actually. We were talking about the affiliation. It took us like 15 minutes of talking about the leadership to actually be like, oh my god, this seems actually it's super good too, because like everything goes into like just let me push all my conditions over to you, and it's super cool. Like Omega Red might actually have a true home for once, and I'm excited for that. Like that alone.
Does anybody self-stagger? Who self-staggers?
So you can never get rid of stagger this way because you have to attack. The only way that you can get rid of stagger, only way you can get rid of stagger if it's off of something like Seeing Red, which is rotated out, or Sabretooth or Ronin, if they were staggered and they do their attack back, they could do. That's the only ways that you can actually get rid of stagger.
And Arch Nemesis, where you actually don't have to shake the stagger with the first action because you have to attack.
Yeah,
so you skip
true.
the window where you have to shake the stagger. There you go. Another obtuse rules interaction for everybody.
That's
so
a good
if you
one,
have
actually.
if your Arch Nemesis on somebody, stagger says that you have to spend your first action to shake the stagger, but Arch Nemesis like supersedes that. So with Arch Nemesis, you have to make that attack. So you make that attack. Now you no longer have to shake your stagger. So you could, if you had, Carnage or Goblin, and you're playing against Venom or foes, or Venom or Peter Parker, I should say, then boom, there you go.
I think it's super cool though. I think Strucker is going to bring a lot of really cool lists that people are going to be bringing in characters that have always just been considered like, yeah, why would you bring that character? I think Strucker just turns all those characters on. He likes Viper, he likes Omega, he likes Sinister, he likes like just anybody ever shits on Strucker likes. And I love him. I think he's really cool, but I'm so in on freaking Red Skull and Malachith. Let's go into Red Skull real quick and talk about this monster of a character. All right, so 5 threat, 7 health. I don't know what his backside is gonna be. I imagine he's not gonna be 7-7 or 7-6, but if he's a 5 threat, he's probably 7-7. I don't know.
7-8. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 7-8.
I hope he's 7-7. I think 7-8's a little too much. But holy crap, is this such an aggressive character? People see the 4-2-2, but you gotta think he's gonna be either 4-5-2 or 4-2-5, which is super good. Yeah, we talked about Red Skull.
Leviathan armor.
Huma says 7-6. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I think Skull is just super sweet. He's got amazing attack suite, range 3, 6 die, which you can easily every single turn make it a freaking 6 die count blanks every single turn, because you're just gonna take a damage and then do that. And this is where I like him under Malachith, because he could just do that and then heal off of whenever Malachith kills somebody. That's why I like him under Mal. But I love that builder, push and a blitz making him move, which is super cool. His affiliation, though, is just becoming the secure king, or just even like any objective king. If you're holding or contesting, you gain an extra power. Like, what the hell? And this is another reason why I like Malachith under Red Skull, is he's now going to be on E's and D's, starting off with 3 power. So yeah, what else has he got? He's got all-consuming obsession. That's the gain power. Leviathan armor, basically vision stuff, and then he brings like the Hydra troopers, which are super cool. We saw those on the stream. I think it's super interesting that they come in with a stagger token. I think that's nice. I didn't put the card in the show notes. I forgot to. But I think it's interesting. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. with the Hydra Troopers that are the secure kings, and I like his grunts a lot. I'd argue they're probably the best grunts in the game, because now you don't need to bring a 2-threat or a low 3-threat to sit on a back point. You can just have grunts do it. And if you're going to be going and chasing those grunts, then I am okay with that, because now I have a skull in your face with freaking 3 actions. Oh. Oh, man. She's too pretty. I haven't found Malachith needs extra power. He generates so much himself. I completely agree with that, but I just like putting Malachith everywhere right now because he's so much fun to play. But yeah, man, Red Skull pay 10 power, get 3 actions. The earliest you could do it is probably round 3. I think that's the earliest I've found that you can do it. But it's a very consistent. You're gonna get this off round 3. And I think Juan has actually some stocks playing with him because he can just come up and remove that stagger.
That's fair.
But I think the best thing is he's a medium base, right? I think that's what we saw.
Yeah.
Was medium base, medium move. So you're like, it's almost worth it to literally like use your last action and move to a spot where you're staggering your enemy team and none of your own team, and then pop in that card in the power phase. Like, it's almost 100% worth it because, yeah, you're giving up an action to do this. Or even better yet, if you get the Blitz Strike to go off and you get the advance off to get away from your guys to be able to pop off. So, yeah, I think it's cool, super fun. Getting 3 actions on a card. He's got the other card. I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm sorry. I feel like
the secure grunts, I think, is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that like at least we've got a little variation to the grunts now. Like that seems neat.
Yeah.
And they feel like power crept grunts a little bit. So like, walk me through cut off one head, right? So if Hydra Troopers are not in play when this character is chosen to activate, so they're both going to get to activate.
No, it's still
the grunts go first.
Yeah.
So okay, so they're a little bit worse then every time.
So you can't do anything with them when they come in, and they come in staggered. And
so
they're also
next turn they're only going to have 1 action.
And they're also a short move.
Okay.
So when they die,
That's interesting.
they kind of suck. You can make 1 attack when they come in. Is that on their card? I don't remember seeing that on their card. I don't have the card in front of me right now. I can't really look it up. And they go first. Yeah, grunts activate first. Oh no, sorry. I was talking to Thoris about this today. They actually get to activate. Because they come in with an activated token, that's part of the Grunts card, and it's not on the Hydra Grunts card. I was talking to Thoris about this today, actually, in the spoiler chat or something like that. So they actually don't come in with an activated token. They come in just with a stagger token.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why they're better. Reading is hard. You're not wrong. But they also have 1/2/2 defenses and 3 health, not 2 health, so they can actually survive being thrown into. You can move, shoot, take 1 action. They also have like that monster. Let me reroll all my 4 dice. It's a range 4 energy attack. That's pretty cool.
That's cool because I mean that means that you could attack and then do a Hydra assault either in the same target or another target.
Yeah,
and they're gone. But
I think they're 100% here. You're gonna go park them on a point, and that's where they're gonna be the entire game.
Yeah.
Because if your opponent wants to go chase down that grunt, well, now they're just gonna be taking crap from Skull. They're gonna be taking crap from Zola. They're gonna be taking crap from whoever you have in your list. Like they're not gonna have the time to go take out the grunt unless it's by like a secondary means. Like it's, I don't know. Shuma says 1 defense. Yeah, they're 1 defense, but they have 1 more health than the other grunts do. All the other grunts are 2 health. They have 3. So they actually have a chance of surviving a character throw that the other grunts don't get. Because even if you block 1 on the regular grunts, so it means your opponent also gets 1 more power, but yeah, they're likely tougher. Sword Kings, yeah, they're absolutely Sword Kings. But yeah, I like them. I think they're going to be standing up points just out of the game in the back and just hiding and taking care of stuff. Unless it's sword, of course. I think they're definitely going to be like going and flipping sword for you because that's insane.
Oh, this is interesting because now we've got like a boosted up Steve Rogers from the core set, right? And
Yeah.
then like maybe Red Skull's like on the lower end of the power curve, like core set Red Skull. But now we've got Red Skull Master of Hydra. That's just a completely different way to play the game. Well, this is cool.
Are you worried about Skull not being able to shift his defense typing mid-turn like Vision? Feels like he could be burst down versus a team with varied attack types. I think if he had the swap like Vision does, he'd be too good. Like he would be like borderline like 6 threat. I think that's like his one weakness that he has is he's gonna be weak to one damage type every single game. But he's also got 7 health. And you're probably taking somebody who can heal. Like I can see Hood Splash with him easy. Because you're going to juice up Dark Lightning so much.
Well, I mean, if you play him under Strucker, you're getting some healing there too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. What's is Skull's Electrostatic Discharge useful at all with normal Skull? Which one is that? Electrostatic
Is that what
Discharge.
the-
Is that the attack card? I don't know if that's the attack card or... I can't read the name of the attack. It's too tiny. Spin power for the beam. Or health for the beam. I don't know. I think that card is great if you're running Strucker's leadership, but I don't know about other than that. Like I was talking with some people about today before I was really down on it, and I was like, why would you take this when you have all these other great cards to take? But I think it's actually very, very much a good card under Strucker because then you can heal it back. But having to take damage is really, really rough. Especially when his health is so valuable. I think it's a cool attack, though. I think the Inevitable Betrayal card is going to be super clutch and in everybody's 10. Because, well, every Hydra team's 10. Because that's going to be amazing on Gamma. And the other card they showed was Scientific Method from Zola, which I think is amazing. And I want to talk about this one. There's so much to talk about. There's so much from Mini Extravaganza that just was... banners. So Scientific Method. This is the one from Zola that gives somebody basically they roll 2 extra dice on defense and less your opponent pays 2 power for. And then they also get a Mystic Attack, which is range 2, 6 die attacks, and you get to count skulls in your opponent's defense dice. Is that what it is, or they get to count skulls? Oh, they take a damage for every skull.
You take damage for each skull.
Which is even better in my opinion. Hello, Malachith.
Yeah, right.
But so I see a lot of people talking about this card, and I think this card is amazing. And if you're playing Zola, which you probably should be, because it's an amazing model and it's an amazing card, and he's an amazing character. I see people saying Lizard. I see people saying 23. I am telling you, I don't know if they said Hydra Bob's affiliated, but his name is Hydra Bob.
It's got to be in there, right?
He has to be in there. So you're probably more than likely running like Skull, Zola, Bob. That's 10 threat as your core, right? Putting this on Bob makes it like, well, now I have to actually go attack Bob. Oh, well, now I actually have to, like, am I going to pay 2 power to get rid of this 2 threat? And this attack makes Bob essentially a 3 threat. Like, it makes him, what, he's what, 2/2/2, I think, normally? I don't remember off the top of my head, but it makes him. So he'd be a 4/4/4 unless you're paying 2 power, and now he has a Mystic Attack that's doing 6 damage. On top of that, underneath Skull...
This is Bob living his best life right here.
Yeah, and then like under Skull, like you're gonna have power on him that you're gonna be able to Hydra Tactics, so that range 2 isn't gonna matter. You're probably gonna be doing this attack twice a turn and not caring. I think Bob's just amazing on it. I think this card's built for Bob. It makes Bob extremely relevant, and I'm so happy because I love that model. I just have no reason to play him.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, though? What are your thoughts?
Scientific Method.
Yeah.
This is neat. No, I think it's Bob living his best life. I like Cheese Dupree's comment in the chat about Mysterio. That's kind of hilarious. pay 2. Okay, you want to pay 2 more? Or I'm gonna roll 7 dice of defense against you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think on Mysterio it's pretty cool because it's gonna make the extra tax on him.
Yeah.
But man, But yeah, we'll catch you later, Chris. Well, I'll make sure I got your message for challenge of the week, so I'll get that out there. Let's try and speed this up a little bit because we got a lot of listener questions too.
I mean, let's call it there. I mean, do we have anything else to say about Arnim Zola, and then we'll just wrap it up at Hydra.
Arnim Zola is super good. Shuri always taking Hydra. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about him. He's super fun.
Does he have a way to give his statuses without a wild? That's the only thing that
no. So it's
come up in the
so
chats that I've had with people.
Nah, it's 4 dice. You need a wild, but under Red Skull, you're gaining an extra power, so you're probably going to be able to bump your damage up to like 6 dice. So you're probably doing 6 dice, and it is range 4. So I don't think he's gonna have any issues getting conditions out.
Okay.
If anything, you attack once, and then your second attack you boost. And plus, he's also going to be easy to hit if he's in that area.
Mordo? I think that Mordo has a weird home in Hydra.
I think he does because of Strucker. Because you could just
the leadership
spread conditions and then spread conditions even more. And then giving dice to Zola is always nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and skip sales pitch of the week this week.
Sure.
Hobby corner. I got some more super glue again because I ran out because I left my cap off and it dried. So I got a bunch of people to put together. Accountability club.
I get to do skin tones on my Scourge.
Nice.
And I keep forgetting that I put Clea on my list again. So
nice.
I really gotta paint her.
I need to submit my list still. I forgot to submit mine, so I need to get that in and get that ready. So challenge of the week. This one's from Clismo for winning the Crucible reward. We got
nice
from Clismo. He would like to see Chimichanga Yoink Deadpool list.
Nice. Chimichanga Yoink Deadpool. Love it.
Yeah. Basically, he says been playing long, hasn't been playing long, primarily playing X-Force. Not sure relevant how some of his Crucible ideas are. Man, every idea is relevant. That's the whole thought process behind Crucible is, or just like challenge of the week is putting just wacky stuff together and having fun with it. And hopefully people play it. Like that's the fun part is playing those lists. All right, as much as I would love to ask everyone for their best... Oh, so this isn't what he's asking for. Whoopsie. As much as I would love to ask everyone for their best Chimmy Yoink Deadpool list, I feel I would never want to play it despite loving the character.
That's very fair.
So how about a condition-based idea? Like, give me your best stagger lineup where you maximize the ability to hand out that at least once per round and bonus points for doing it at 14 to 16 threat. So, condition list before Zola, or are we going to let people throw Zola in here?
Let's go no Zola.
Okay, so no Hydra. Let's go current releases, including Malachith and Winter Guard, for what we know. All right, cool. So, condition focus list, not including Hydra. Cool. All right, listener questions. It's just Rory. With all the Hydra stuff, are you guys stocks up on Shield, or are they in the same place? I think the new cap, because I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be Shield, isn't going to be doing much for Shield. It's nice to have an affiliated 4, but I can't wait to see Torch. I hope he does something good for them. But Howling Commandos, I think, is amazing. So their being Shield is good. I think stocks up on Shield, just in general, because like they're a good affiliation. But people just need to put reps in with them and keep playing them. Like, there's not really much more than that.
It's there. Like, there's stuff with Shield. It just... I like that we've got a cap that is... I don't want to say self-serving, but like maybe self-sufficient. Like, he's just going out to do cap things instead of trying to run a whole team. I think that's cool.
I think...
So I'm here for it.
I want to actually touch on that part, because I didn't have his card in here, I don't think. But anyways... I think people being super down on cap, like, what is this? Like, it's not cap. It's like, you got to think, like, this is the cap from, like, the 40s comics era. So, Like, I think he is a perfect representation of World War II Cap. Like, this is the Cap that was being printed in the 40s, and that's exactly what
Right.
it is. So, that's my thoughts on it. I think he's fine as is. He's not a super stellar 4. He's not going to be splashed everywhere. I think in shield he's actually pretty good because of how much mobility he has, and he's going to be good at running objectives for them.
Yeah, I range through with the flurry. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, it's
that's
Medusa. Yeah.
So that's scary. Like,
Yeah, Shuma says
those
he's
characters just double activate. Like that's
Yeah.
nasty stuff.
Shuma says he's supposed to be a boring generic character, but they went a little too hard, I think. I think they did fine. I think they did fine on him. I think he's like just enough oomph. I think he's good for shield, but I think that's the only place he really wants to be. He's not a super splash character.
Yeah, he gets the fine vote for me. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll call him fine. He's fine.
Cool.
Cap's fine.
Yeah, and shield's fine. I think stocks up. I think stocks are probably stagnant. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't go up. They didn't go down. I think they're at the same spot.
Yeah, a couple of bips.
Yeah. Draz, how do you think we will see new crises be added to the game? What about revisiting old ones like herbs? I really don't know what to say about this. I had my tinfoil hat, and I was really hoping Mini Extravaganza had something there. But I really don't know what to expect with crises now. I really hope we get some more soon, and I really hope when people say like, hey, they don't put crises typically on the box for the gallery until like it gets closer. But Red Skull is closer, and there's still nothing there. So
I want new crises. I want new extracts.
Yeah.
But I mean, as much as I want new extracts, I want reworked like old extracts. Like I don't know, Crisis Pack would be great. New Crisis would be great. A completely reworked Crisis system like scares the crap out of me. But I mean, I think that largely, I just want more toys to play with, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
yeah, I agree. What about revisiting old ones like herbs? Again, I
Yeah.
think it'd be cool if they revisited some of the ones. Like I think I love Panic. Give us a B-shape extract that works. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Dakota. That's an old one, I think. No, it's not. You guys got me thinking about terrain with your podcast this week, so I was wondering, what do you guys think about non-interactable terrain and/or special rules on terrain? So far, we have the Quinjet, but could you see yourselves adding things like water features, hills as non-interactable terrain? The rules also mention size 6 terrain as a thing. Do you think that is just too inconvenient to include on a table? So let's start backwards forward. Size 6, I think you don't put size 6 on a table. We tried doing this with TTS leagues, and it absolutely is bad. It's obnoxious because you can't see, and you're trying to work around this monstrosity. And like, this isn't TTS, and it was a pain in the ass to deal with. So I imagine in real life, it's probably even worse.
Was Big Ben a 6?
What's that?
There used to be that map in TTS that had like Big Ben on it. I don't
So
remember
big,
the size of it.
so Big Ben was, and so was Avengers Tower.
Okay, yeah. I'm not in for 6s. 6s is too much. Like when we get bored with the game, when the terrain's like not enough to be like inventive or enjoyable enough, like okay, let's start looking at 6s. But until then, I don't even want to deal with the apartment building most of the time. I want to be able to throw stuff. I want to be able to do stuff. So I'll take the Hyper Viper point here. I have no idea what his opinion is here, but he tends to like more toys, more better. You know, like he doesn't want the Thanos, the no Thanos leadership. So I feel like uninteractive terrain is probably not the greatest. It's not the most enjoyable thing for me. I have a Quinjet. It's cool.
I think non-interactable is actually pretty decent because we have that one map in the current TTS league, and I think it actually creates a very interesting point because it's in the middle of the map. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna throw this thing. Oh, I can't throw this thing. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So I think it creates an interesting point to the game, but I think it should be used very sparingly.
Very sparingly. So when we set up our tables at our events in Greenville, I always try to stick pretty closely to the AMG recommendations, but we also always have a couple of maps that always like try to just break some of those rules, either for one reason or another. But I think uninteractive terrain has to be used sparingly. I actually set up a table at one of our events. I think the one in January. I had a like size 3 or size 4 uninteractive that was just in the middle of the table. I walked up to the one of the games in the 3rd or the 4th round, and they just had it off to the side, and they were like, "We just decided not to use it."
Fair enough.
Guys. Whatever works for you. So, yeah.
And then the special rules on terrain, I think this is gonna like unnecessary complications. I think the rules for terrain's great as it is. I think what they're doing with this ultimate encounter kit with the tanks, I think that's awesome. But I think that's where it belongs is in ultimate encounters and like weird formats of the game. But like the standard format of the game, I don't think I want special rules on terrain because it just creates another avenue that you're gonna have to memorize or have a sheet pulled up or something like that. I don't think it'd be good.
And that's been my thing too. Like I've got a pretty cool like mouse pad, like neoprene like pond that I've really wanted to use on a couple of tables and give it special rules. But it's like there's special rules then. Like it'd be way too easy to walk up to that table and just assume that this was nothing. And then 3/4 of the way through your game, you look at it and you're like, oh, it says that it's size -3. So and then like has like half a paragraph of how to play around that. So I would love to do that. I think it's really cool. I think if like you're just having a game night and you want to just have some fun with a friend, like throw it out there, see how it works. And like, you know, if everybody in your group is all in on it, then sure, like throw it out there, bring it to an event. But no, in general, no. Just there's enough rules for the terrain in this game. It's not the the part of the game that might get a little bit humdrum. So I don't think that terrain needs all that many special rules.
Absolutely. Liam Watt, do you think Mal will break top 10 at midseason 8? Yes.
Yes. Next question.
Kenny, why is Doctor Strange the best answer for Malachith, either form? I actually think Strange is actually pretty good, and I think OG Strange is better into him than Supreme because of the spender. Being able to activate Malachith is huge, and as well as his size unlimited push, being able to control Malachith. Yeah, he has the charge, but you throw 2 of those bad boys into him, you're limiting what Malachith can do. So I think OG Strange is actually very solid into Mal.
So New Strange has energy reverse pierce, which isn't so great into a model with pierce, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, I pierce your wild. No, I pierce your wild. Ah, you got me. But he's got that place 3, that scalpel. It's going to do some work into Malachith. I walk up to you, I scalpel you back, range 3. I walk away. Yeah. That's not super fun.
I think both are good, but I think OG takes the cake.
No, the activation. Yeah. When you can just lose 7 threat worth of model for the turn, that's miserable.
Tara, what was your favorite part from Mini Stravaganza? I'm going to pair this with one that was down below from Draz. What is the most undervalued bit of what was spoiled over Mini Stravaganza? So what was your favorite part and what was the most undervalued part? I think the most undervalued part is how much time and like work goes into putting on stuff like this from AMG themselves. So like I think it's like not as appreciated. People get so sucked into the spoilers and sucked into like give me more. It's like they have to put so much work into it. So I think just the overall undervalued bit of how much work gets put into it.
Yeah. I all I wanted from Mini Stravaganza was Malachith, and I got it.
Same. Same. And what was your favorite part? Yeah, Malachith. Malachith is just amazing. If I had to say like one specific part though, it's the story of how Malachith's character, like the model, came to be. Like that, I was dying.
That's quality.
Yeah. I love it when they get super passionate about it and they start going down storyline, and it's just like, wow, that's awesome. All right. Samzilla, is the Dame in danger of character bloat? I don't think so, because we have a shit ton of characters, but you still see people like doing stuff with characters that came out when the game first came out. You see people doing stuff with characters that came out at any point of the game's life, and I think that's always going to be a thing. I think where the issue lies is like, this is going to tie into the next question, but it's like, how much, like, what does somebody who's new get? Like, there's so much that they can go out and get, and it's kind of overwhelming, which I think... You want, man? Well, it is, though. Like, if you go into a game and you're like, oh, wow, I have, like, 80 boxes to choose from, and I don't know where to go, it can be overwhelming. But I think them doing the affiliation boxes is going to be huge for that, and it's going to help out a lot of newer people. But I don't think the game is in danger of character bloat. I want more characters. Like we always say, like, I want more. Like the fact that they have so much design space with characters is amazing. And I'm never going to get sick of being excited for a new character for this game.
Same team. I want more characters like at every opportunity. And honestly, the more characters we get, the easier it is to just be like, no, just like, what do you like? Who's your favorite character? Start there.
Yeah. All right. The next question from Sam Zilla was, how do beginners prioritize what to get with so much available? I don't think there is a priority. Like there really isn't anymore. Like back in the day, there absolutely was. It was like, if you want to have a game where you're just not gonna get your teeth smashed in, you need to buy this character. But now, because of this character bloat, you have so much. You have so many options. Like you have so many things that you can go to. You can literally go in and be like, I want to play X-Force, so you can go and buy X-Force and play it and have fun with it. Because that's what matters. Just play what you want. So like that's what you prioritize. Is I still recommend to everybody, just because of what the value the core box brings, is get the core box and then get whatever affiliation interests you the most.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. I would say like you can't get a better value than the core box. The other thing the core box gives you is it gives you the crises you need, and it gives you enough characters that maybe you don't care about to flush out a roster. But it's really easy to pick up somewhere between a core box and 3 to 5 expansions and have a team that you're happy to bring to the table.
Yeah.
And with especially after this last update, the Challenger update and the rules changes that came along with it, the game is in a fantastic place for buy-in. The crises are really the hardest part about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, you talk to anybody who's played this game for any amount of time, and we all want a crisis pack. Like, it is the hardest thing, the hardest sell. There are no E maps in the core box. And like the E maps are spread across, Hulk,
Ghost Rider,
and models that it's not that you don't, or wouldn't play with those models. It's that you have to get this model if you want to play on this crisis. And I really hope that something gives there at some point in the near future. But otherwise, nah, just play what you want. And I mean, if you don't mind me spoiling it a little bit, like we're going to be deep diving on the core crises for our crisis deep dives, because I really think that number one, if you learn how to play on core crises, then you can play anything that's put in front of you. And second of all, if like you can bring just core crises and you've got a good spread, you just have to have a slightly different, like less laser focused roster approach where you're doing more of an all comers kind of style. So I think there's a lot of room on the core crises to play.
Absolutely. So. All right, next one. Scruff McGruff. How do I figure out the best place to start with so much going on? Another one. I think we pretty much answered that though, but like, because I've been actually talking to this guy, and because he's been actually messaging me of like, hey man, I tried to bother you. Like, first of all, if anybody like has a question, like just feel free like to message me. Like, don't worry. Like, I love talking about this game. Shoot, we've been on here for almost 2 hours talking.
It's gonna be short this week.
Yeah. We could talk fundamentals, but there's no way we're gonna spend this long. Spends 1 hour alone on Malachith.
Gosh.
But anyways, like I love talking about this game. So if anybody wants to talk, like just hit me up. But how do you figure out the best place to start with so much going on? It's really like how we've been talking is just find what you want to play. Core set's great again because it's like it teaches you the core concepts of the game. Every character there has a learning point of something that every single character past that has expanded upon and done crazier rules. It's the most simplified rules and it's the easiest to get into the game with. After that, it's like play what you want. Talk to people, figure out like what worked with you, what didn't work, what like is this a good list? Is this not a good list? But biggest thing is play what you want. Like I love Cable. I still love playing X-Force, regardless of what people say and what I say. But I still love playing X-Force because I love the characters.
Yeah. Even with X-Force, the thing about X-Force is, once you've got all of X-Force, you've also got pretty
X-Men.
direct, like pivots, into X-Men, into Cabal to some extent, or even into, I guess you don't have anything else into Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But once you get into X-Men, you've got a Brotherhood roster at this point too.
Yeah.
So
basically, so it all starts there.
You can chart some buy-ins. Like if anybody wants to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you about like trying to chart a buy-in to the game. That's some pretty easy stuff. I definitely suggest you start with characters that you like, because you can play unaffiliated and you're not even giving up all that much most of the time.
All right, another one from Sam Zilla. With all the hype over Mal, is Winter Guard dead on arrival?
Winter Guard's dead on arrival because of world events. But I mean, if you want to play Fantasy Russia characters and I think you can do that guilt free and have a blast with it. But
Yeah.
I think that for the most part, those guys look cool. They look slow and tanky, and if that's your thing, then it's unexplored territory. So give it a rip.
I think Winter Guard is actually pretty interesting. I still want to play them, but I'm just so into Mal that I'm not going to. I definitely have. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Yeah, what hair? I'm bald.
Bald meta.
Bald meta. Draz, what is the most undervalued bit of what was spoiled over many strap? Oh, I already said that one. Matomatic or Matomatic. If they do a Sentinel raid kit, how many times will you loop the 90s X-Men theme while playing it? Oh, that's a you just find, go to YouTube, man. Go to YouTube, find like the 10-hour loop, all that type of stuff. Why does AMG keep releasing themes that aren't mutants?
I mean, how many models are there for Wakanda?
Yeah,
Got plenty of mutants.
I don't know. Yeah, we got a lot of mutants. I think why are mutants the best is the next one too. I think mutants are fun, but I think they just gotta spread the love. That's all.
Hulk foes.
I think
Abomination win.
like Hulk foes. I think Hulk foes would be pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool characters within that are actually very interesting. So.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna cover it for tonight. Anything else you want to closing thoughts? Malachith is amazing, and don't be scared of him. He's not that bad.
Fun models are fun. Play what you want.
For sure. All right. Everybody have a... Oh, sorry. We have been the Rogue Agents, and you have been the listener.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Maximum effort.
In this war, there's no surrender.
He's out of line, but he's right. Who the hell is Bucky?
You don't like a fair fight.
I think you're wrong. Which part? All of it.
Think you're the only superhero in the world?
Touche.